I just want to give a quick video on the subject of mothers not interfering with daddies disciplining their children, because it seems like it's quite a hot topic. And I just wanted to address it in person and give you a couple of examples. When we have two sons, and when the youngest one was in diapers, the older one came, he was 2 years older, and he was upset with him, so he just pushed him down. And then so my husband said, "Ryan, come here." So Ryan walked over and he just pushed him down, back on his bottom. It was carpet, so it didn't, but it shocked him, and he wailed, and he said, "You don't do that to your little brother. Did you like that?" "No." "Well, you don't do that to your brother. We treat each other how we want to be treated, so you don't do that." And then when they were older and they were in sports, they would get hurt. Not really anything major, but Ken would make them go back and play, and I'd be cringing in the crowd. "Oh no, maybe they shouldn't make him play, you know." But my boys went back and played, and they were fine. And he was a lot tougher on my boys and my daughters, and a lot of times I wanted to step in, but for some reason, even though I wasn't a submissive wife back there, and I didn't, thankfully, I don't think he would have let me anyway. I don't think he would have cared what I thought about that. He wanted to make my sons into men, and so he was going to do that regardless of what I thought. And I really never even told him. I don't think I even said, "You're too tough on them," but I sure thought it. But my boys now are very strong, masculine men who work hard and provide for their families. They weather storms well. And I'm real thankful that I never stepped in, because I've seen mothers step in, and I've seen the consequences of when mothers step in, and it's not good. From what I've, in my own personal experience, the men grow up and they're not prepared to slay dragons, like Dr. Laura says. Men need to go out and slay dragons to be the protectors and the providers of the family. And if they're not toughened up by their daddies, they're not ready to do that, and so they don't provide. They never really have direction in their life. They're not willing to go out and work really hard, and through the hard times. Ken's had to work times when he had the stomach flu all night long, and then had to get up and teach thousands of people that had come to a conference. When I'm sick, which I was for many years, and when I had little children, I'd be able to lay on the couch. I'd still have to get up and do things for them, but it wasn't the stress of having to go out and produce and, to provide like Ken did. And men are at the forefront in military, on the combat zones, the policemen, the firemen. They need to be tough. We need tough men today. And in our culture today, we're not producing a lot of tough men, because so many women want to interfere and not allow their husbands to make their sons tough. So women, don't interfere with your husbands. Of course, abusing, yes, but make sure you're not confusing abuse with being tough. Like Michael, I want to give one last illustration. Michael Pearl gives an illustration in his book, and women think this is just horrible what he did. But they live near a pond, and he had 5 children, and when they were toddlers, he would kind of walk behind them and watch them fall into their pond. And after a few seconds, he'd grab them out. And the purpose was so that they would fear that pond and they would not drown. Drowning is the #1 cause of death among children. Debbie was, of course, panicked when Michael would do that, but he did that to all 5 of his children, so they all feared the pond until they were old enough to swim. So he did it for a good reason. He saw long-term vision. He didn't want any of his children to drown in that pond near their home. And a lot of people would say that was abusive and horrible, but it wasn't. He saved the children. They didn't drown. He wasn't going to let his children drown. You have to trust your husband. You have to trust his judgment. I trusted Ken. I knew that he loved my boys and he wanted the very best for them. So I down deep inside, I trusted him, because I knew that he wanted the best for them. He wanted them to grow up to be tough, strong men. of God. So women just hands off, our soft hearts, have a hard time with it sometimes, but it's ultimately for their very good. Anyway, that's my teaching. Bye.